Hi, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Scott Gagliardi here with your First Alert Weather Extra on this Friday morning. And what a morning it has been. Temperatures, they are cooler in the 50s, a lot more 60s though now, especially compared to where things were earlier. But yeah, where things are headed, especially over the next several days, a lot of heat and a lot of humidity. Once we get towards next week, enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow. The heat really, we'll say it starts on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, we're back up into the dog days of summer with heat and humidity. Let's take a look at where things stand at some of the iCams across the state. Look at Torrington. So obviously, you see it's clear out, but the color of the sky is one that we haven't seen in several days. It's very blue. We've had a lot of smoke around all week. Air quality issues? Well, none of that today. Look at that. An unobstructed view, finally, looking good out there. In Hartford, there's a few high, thin clouds. These will be gone, though, by, say, noon. And as mentioned, that blue sky will be taking over all of Connecticut. Temperature in Hartford, 61. Along the shoreline, a couple degrees warmer, where right now it is 67. A few high, thin clouds there as well. Those thin out, though, over the next couple of hours. Visibility, though, near perfect. You can see Sleeping Giant way off in the distance there. Checking in on the month of August. So we're on our 8th day in, and once again, we're expecting temperatures below average. We should be 85, and we reached that on Monday. That was the one day we were at our average high temperature, but yeah, the blue tile, we'll see another one of those today. Tomorrow's close. We're forecasting 86, so either way, by Sunday and then all of next week, temperatures above average and well above average at that, especially by Wednesday and Thursday. Any rain, that less than quarter inch that you're seeing for that Friday, that was what we saw that Thursday into Friday. So the daylight hours of August have really not seen much in the way of any rain so far. And it kind of stays that way. We're forecasting maybe a few isolated storms next Thursday, but that all depends on a cold front and the timing. It's still way too far out. And yeah, at this point, not looking too promising. Air quality, though, is superb across the state. It's good. Finally, that green indicating that we're doing okay out there. So no issues with any smoke or haze today and going forward, which is good news there. Our drought monitor. So these came out yesterday, but they do show a somewhat increase in the drought issues, primarily along the shoreline. So inland towns and the inland counties, you're coming off your 8th wettest July. So we still need the rain. It's been over a week, but you had some in the bank, basically. Along the shoreline, you actually were in your top 10 driest Julys. So yeah, no surprise that some of these abnormally dry drought conditions are taking shape along the immediate shoreline. With no rain expected through next Thursday, that's when these maps come out. We'll likely see an increase or an expansion, I should say, of some of these drought issues across parts of southern New England. But the bigger weather story going forward is certainly the heat. We've issued 4 first alert weather days, Monday through Thursday. So Monday and Tuesday, it's hot and it's muggy out. The heat index could approach those mid-90s, maybe a little bit higher than that. But it's fairly manageable, especially for what we typically would see here in August. I'm actually more surprised at the 50s and even a couple 40s that I saw this morning than I would be to see the 90s that we'll see on Monday and Tuesday. It's really Wednesday and Thursday that we're talking near record heat being possible. Heat index values up to and possibly over 100. So heat-related illness can come on very quickly. Would not be surprised if we end up seeing some heat advisories by the middle part of next week. This is certainly well within that criteria. None yet, but we'll be keeping a very close eye on that. Once confidence grows that we'll see those hot temperatures, those heat advisories will be issued. The almanac, though, for next week, Wednesday and Thursday in particular, so the records in the Hartford area, they're high. This time of year, they will be within a degree or two of 100, and they are. Wednesday, 99, Thursday, 99 as well. Bridgeport, your record of 95 set back in 2016 on Wednesday, and 94 on Thursday. Important to note, though, all of these records within the last, say, 2 decades. It's not something that's surprising, considering that many of the records that we've been seeing, especially for the summer months, are within fairly recent memory. But they'll be challenged, yeah, for sure, next Wednesday and Thursday. Monday, we'll say some moderate issues, especially for inland towns with some heat. But then by Tuesday, that begins to increase And we don't have the maps yet for Wednesday or Thursday, but yeah, we're talking major issues across the state with heat. You can see some of the feels or the actual air temperatures. This does not take into account the humidity, meaning the air temperatures could be even, or the feels like temperatures could be even higher. This is one computer model that we use, and yeah, it's on the high end. The American model, the GFS model, usually keeps things a little bit warmer, but it is absolutely within the realm of possibility that starting on Sunday, we could see those low 90s. By Monday, some low to middle 90s. And then by Tuesday, yeah, we're talking more of us will be seeing those 90s. Wednesday, I mean, this one computer model is forecasting an air temperature of 100 degrees. And you have to remember, these numbers would be taken in the shade. So direct sunlight with humidity is very, very warm out there. Stifling would be a good way to describe Wednesday. And then still very hot on Thursday. But as mentioned, a cold front will be approaching Connecticut. So depending on the exact timing, will determine how high the temperatures get, but also if that cold front comes in during the peak heating of the day, yeah, then you could see some stronger thunderstorms. Right now we're going with isolated storms, some of which could be on the stronger side. As far as any 90-degree days, so far none in August, but as you just saw, we're adding 4, maybe 5. It's going to depend on what happens on Sunday and Thursday. Do we see 4 days or do we add another one? Either way, this will surpass our annual average by this time next week of 90-degree days and could very well be our 4th heat wave of the year. But let's check in on things right now because there's still a few 50s on the map. We can really appreciate those when you see where things are headed for next week. Lot more 60s though. 61 in Hartford, 68 in Bridgeport, 62 in Danbury and Salisbury. Dew points across the state, comfortable 50s. These are going to remain low through tomorrow, even into Sunday and Monday. They really start to creep up though by next Tuesday and Wednesday. But if you're heading to the beach today, it is a perfect beach day. High tide comes in New London in about an hour and say 20 minutes or so. New Haven around 11:20. UV index is an 8. And yeah, apply that sunscreen and apply it often. Yard work still can get away with anything you want to do outdoors today through the weekend. It's next week that we would say limit your time outdoors, especially during peak heating of the day. Today, though, conditions look great. You can see this little deck of high, thin clouds making their way through the region, but these will continue to push off farther towards the east as an area of high pressure really holds its ground over the next, say, 24 to 48 hours. And it's a good thing because as you can see on the bottom right side of your screen, developing a possible tropical system. Either way, even if it gets a name, it does not impact us here in Connecticut thanks to that area of high pressure over Nova Scotia. Notice things stay nice and quiet, though, through the weekend and even into next week. We could really use some rain, especially the gardens, but yeah, we're not forecasting any. The tropics, so that little yellow area just off the Carolina coast, that's what you saw possibly developing on First Alert Futurecast. The orange little X there with a low pressure trying to form, it has a medium chance of development over the next 7 days. But what's not pictured are the several tropical waves that will be making their way off of the coast of Africa. And that is something, those ones, some indications are they could make their way across the Atlantic and impact someone. It's way too soon to talk about anything like that. As you can see, the National Hurricane Center isn't even mentioning it in their outlook. But some of the computer models are certainly depicting at some development, pretty typical for this time of year in August. But when something forms that far out, it really, I mean, we're talking over a week to 10 days before anything would impact or even maybe threaten the eastern seaboard. It really takes quite a long time. So we will have plenty of time to watch anything that does possibly form way out in the eastern Atlantic. As far as the name list, though, the next name on the list is Aaron. Beyond that is Fernand, and then Gabrielle. So, yeah, we could be talking about a couple of these storms getting names over the next few weeks. We still have nearly 90% of the season ahead of us. So peak hurricane season, that day is the middle of September, around the September 15th timeframe. So lots of hurricane season to get through. Your forecast highs today, though, still a few degrees below average, but an absolutely gorgeous day. It's sunny, it's dry, it's a top 10 weather day for sure. Tonight, those temperatures drop off pretty quickly. Once again, lots of 50s, probably and most likely a few upper 40s once again in the northeast hills. Look at that, forecasting 52 in Putnam. Yeah, some of those outlying areas, definitely looking at those upper 40s. But your first alert 7-day forecast, our warming trend begins tomorrow, 86, after another cool start. By Sunday, we'll start off the day near 60 and then jumping up nearly 30 degrees once again to near 90. If we reach 90, that would be the first day of our next heat wave, because as you can see, Monday through Thursday are all first alert weather days for increasing heat as well as humidity, likely peaking on Wednesday. Your heat index up and over 100. Look at those morning lows. Humid. When we see 70s, you know it's quite warm and quite humid out there. Thursday will be humid as well. Some thunderstorms are possible. We'll be keeping a close eye on the progression of a cold front, and that will determine our high temperature and our storm timing, but way too early to talk about that. Either way, it's just in the realm of possibility. And even along the shoreline, look at those temperatures warming up tomorrow into the low 80s, Sunday near 90, but even forecasting a heat wave along the shoreline. Monday, 91, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, those mid-90s, feels like temperatures approaching 100. So enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow, even Sunday. It'll be warm, but it'll be dry, because next week the heat does return. The dog days of summer will be here. And you can see this is a pretty long duration heat wave. Warm temperatures, even extended outlook, say day 6 or 10, are still above average. So we got lucky the first week or so of August. Beyond that, it's looking pretty toasty. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll have another update tonight at 9:30 with our next First Alert Weather Extra. Have a great day and a great weekend.